Good day, everybody. We're back for another Friday night with you with nothing better to do, and I guess I have nothing better to do. That happens. It just so happens we both have nothing better to do on the same night. Let's see. Let's get going here. Let me know if the volume gets loud. The music is still like, it's like. And I swear, guys, like, I have it on, like, it's still on 20. And it's still really loud. So, I'll have to adjust my, volume if I ever need to. So, last time, things escalated pretty quickly. Even though I went to Japan to go to this particular little concert thingy giveaway, I guess, I won some fantastic prizes from some sort of energy drink contest. I don't know. And then we went to Japan to go to this music concert, I guess, that was run by Clace. Apparently Clace died. Like, he got killed during the Midnight Deaths thing. So that happened. And then the dude from the art came down and he's like, "Nah, you're not here anymore. You're going over to this place called Terra and you're gonna deal with their problems while the music people deal with their problems." It's just a weird cluster stuff. So I guess we're just gonna start it up. I gotta remember to hit Z. Z is the button. Z. You wanna hit the Z. Using multiple save files is, well, I'm gonna hit F5 real quick because I just hit the wrong button. I'm like, why is it telling me that stuff and I already know? It's like, oh, because I hit new game. Continue would be the button. Yeah, and then with these two, like, divas and rockers talked about their, basically talked about the, history of Japan. Like, that was relevant. I'm not sure why. I still don't know why. But look, what's this throne room? An undisclosed time. Please tell me you've allocated the funds. Oh, it's a big old horse dude. What am I to do for his horse? Of course, my lord. Endymon and Conrad will be paid promptly. There will be no reason for a delay. Yep. Very well, Dust. What was his voice now? God dang. I knew I should have done my research on what voices I gave these people. Do you have any news of their journey? I did receive word, actually. They've stopped at the Wayfarer's Tavern. With the Savior in tow, I might add. This is excellent news. They should be here within a day. Unless there are any unforeseen delays. Thank you for informing me. You've done a wonderful job, Dusk. I am informed, and my treasury is full. I do as any loyal citizen would. Your flattery honors me. Please await their arrival at the gate. I have some matters to attend to in private. Of course. I suppose it's about time. I need to prepare myself for what's to come. Rilo, you can come out now. Oh well. Hello, Velasquez. Sorry, that name doesn't convince me. I did not call you here to insult me. Right. I do apologize, Master. I wanted to thank you. Thank me? Yes. Things are going as we planned. I don't believe we are under suspicion. It is going well indeed. But of course it is. You have me. Yes, of course. Join me, Ryo. We should have a seat in our thrones. For today, everything comes to fruition. See, that one was a good twist. That one I didn't see coming. So I wonder if that lady so if he's like sort of the bad guy arc dude, I wonder if the lady in the what's it called? The subway. The one you ran into the subway, and she's on the title screen too. She also has a gear around her neck, so I'm wondering if she's like the protagonist version of this dude. Because I'm guessing now that this dude is a bad guy. It took a bit longer than I thought, but eventually we reached town. So this is what society is like on Terra? It's not what I expected at all. I'm taken aback. We're instantly bombarded by beggars. They want our food and money and for their own purposes. Seems like some sort of third world country. However, Endymion and Conrad seem unfazed. Is this normal occurrence for them? Riley Streets? Riley. We successfully weaved from side to side. The streets were busy and bustling with activity. Citizens tried to sell us their wares with vigor. Most of them were odd, but all of them were suspicious. I used the two assassins as a shield as we walked. I stood both behind them and between them. This was not a place I wanted to get lost in. So I did my best to blend in with the locals. I still wasn't certain if I could trust these two, but at this point in time they were my only hope. I had to err on the side of logic instead of my gut. We turned a few more corners. So much turning. I'm surprised we haven't headed back where we started. They mentioned we were going to a tavern, the Wayfarer's Tavern, for at least 2 reasons. That should be a colon. Sorry. Anyways, to submit my immigration papers and check their mail. Part of me wishes I could have come here on my own. Instead, I'm being dragged out around by these two. Maybe I could have enjoyed the sights if I did, instead of being taken on a major mission anyway. It seems that I'm working on everyone else's schedule. I still haven't been able to fully relax. Welcome to the real world, son. You work on everyone else's schedule. Not on Earth, and definitely not on Terra. Of course, before I can continue thinking, they stop. I come crashing into both of their backs, embarrassingly. Better watch your step, dude. Please don't do that in the future. We're trained to attack at sudden contact. Either way, I didn't mean to cause a scene. I only meant to turn to address you. I thought I should explain things more. And I'm gonna turn down the volume just a little bit because that little flute is getting right on my nerves. Right on my nerves, my last nerves. I thought I should explain things more. I'm not just here for your papers. I was wondering about that, actually. Checking their mail seemed like it could wait. We mentioned Lord Player earlier, right? We need to ensure he loses the election. To that end, we hired a local mercenary. They caused an uproar at the latest rally, and we were able to turn his servant. It seems like more and more seek his demise. I'm not sure I agree with these methods. They seem pretty dirty. Then again, these are assassins. The mercenary, Kalen, was promptly arrested. We believe the servant Cabot was as well. However, Kalen's goal is to plant evidence. Evidence we will uncover during our visit. We are still on friendly terms with Player. He doesn't suspect us of this treason. But why did Kalen have to be imprisoned? I'm not sure. Valaquez demanded it. A stealth mission would be more efficient. Imprisonment can lead to terrible troubles. I barely realized it, but we started walking again. I must have been too engulfed in the talking to notice. Having players' trust is a major aspect. We're free to make a startling discovery. Just as soon as Kalen plants the evidence. Indeed. Failed ritual is also key. It's brought several Earthlings to Terra. You handed them to play up immigration. We're definitely in his good books. We'll be able to continue unhindered. We couldn't plant you player, however. We needed you to blend in with everybody. This is why we're taking you to the tavern. So along with handing in your papers, we're hoping we get mail from Kaylin. Then we can further plan the player scenario. Anyone and Conrad stop in their tracks again, but this time it's because we've arrived at the tavern. Tantroo, once we get inside, keep a low profile. Try not to arouse any unwanted attention. We can't have any conflict inside. Take it from me, this place is busy. There are people here from other worlds. Try not to stare if you can do one thing. They don't take too kindly to prying eyes. Roger that. After a few moments, we enter. Oh, wait, hold on. It's hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious. Alright, save. Yes. There was no choices there, so we're just gonna overwrite. As we enter, I get a sense of deja vu. I feel like I've been here before. I just can't put my finger on it. I take a few steps forward. I scan my surroundings. This place is busy. Well, you can tell by the empty picture. I'm being silly. I see a waitress clumsily stumbling around. There's also a man at the desk, shuffling papers. We're quickly approached by one of the workers. Howdy there. What brings you in? Nah, that's more Conrad, isn't it? Trying to figure out. I blink a couple of times, unsure what to say. The young rabbit then tilts his head back to look at me. Oh, you guys again? Can you at least buy some drinks this time? We have to make a living, you know. Hey, PB. Long time no see, buddy. I'm not your buddy. Not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, guy! You're really gonna break my heart. Just like that? Ouch. How about you buy some drinks? Then we'll talk. I have an establishment to run here. I confess, we do like to come here. It's so easy to blend in with the crowd. Of course, we can be pretty poor. We don't have money for drinks. PB sees us as a group of freeloaders. His name is PB. Like, just 2 letters. That has to stand for some... And don't ask me what my name stands for. It stands for nothing. Nothing at all. I'll find out one day. I know it. What a ferocious little guy. And he runs this place all on his own? Hey, new guy. He stares me in the eyes. A much calmer gaze than any man. Allow me to welcome you. This is the Wayfarer's Tavern, on my humble home, and... I hate being formal. It's my bar, okay? I run this place. Is he old enough to drink alcohol? What are the laws like on Terra? We opened up about a decade ago. Since then, we exploded in popularity. But we're also the immigration office. Nothing after a long journey. You need drinks? A man after my own heart. I'll kill you. Oh, this little hothead. I am not little. PB starts fuming. Looks like he's about to get violent. Before he can, someone steps in front of him. Whoever it is, they keep him in line immediately. Hey. Oh, hey, Fidget. What is it now? The other rabbit, or Fidget, shuffles nervously. I thought maybe it would be Mom. You got so excited at these new guests. Do you think she'll come back today? No, Fidget. Not today, brother. Oh. Okay. Besides, it's rude of her to intrude like that. We're in the middle of our conversation. I said hey. He puts on his hand out to shake mine, but he quickly blushes and pulls away, then runs off. Interesting. Well, sorry about that. That's my brother, Fidget. He helps out as much as he can. His dream is to be the best waiter here. Says he wants to make our mom proud. He studies under the current barmaid, Trish. He leans forward and whispers in my ear. But to be honest, they're both terrible. It's just hard to it's hard to turn down free labor. He laughs before pulling back. Practice makes perfect, though, right? Follow me, the three of you. We need to sit down and have a chat. He starts to lead us towards a table. Chapter 3, The Winds of Change. Chapter 2 is pretty short. PB does not sit down with us. Instead, he hovers above the table, looking down. So first, we need to talk about repairs. He slams his fist down on the table, the sound echoing through the tavern and people staring. Repairs? What are you talking about? Repairs for the damages you two caused. Tavern brawls aren't clean, you know. You two threw a poor guy across the room. You need to pay for that broken glassware. There's a huge dent in the wall, too. He points across the tavern. Sure enough, the wall is damaged. It looks rather fragile, though. That wasn't us. Of course it was. I saw it happen with my own two eyes. His body caused the dent. Oh no, you're not talking your way out. Not like the last 10 times. Your mind games won't work anymore, guys. They cause damage here often? I'm starting to question these two men. It's just something expected in our work. I don't care what you have to say. You're paying up now. But we don't have the money. Oh, how convenient. I really mean it. Well, I guess I'll add interest. The cost of the damage tripled. That's not fair, PB. Neither is breaking my house. We're on an important mission this time. We'll be compensated greatly. Please give us some more time. Aren't you always on some important mission? Well, yeah. But none of that has been as important as this. We've been hired by the king himself. That's so. It really is. PB sits down across from the three of us. Alright. Wrong guy. Alright, start talking. Well, it's kind of confidential. Confidential? As in non-existent? You're obviously just buying time. The king would never work with assassins. PB sharply inhales, and it's as if he's about to yell, but Eddieman quickly cuts him off. Is he scared? No, please. No need to call him here. Fine, you win. I will tell you. But you have to promise you'll wait. Depends on how good your story is, I suppose. A few moments pass and Eddieman stares at me. Savior, feel free to wander while I explain. No need for you to hear this all again. That was true. There's no reason to stay. I feel like I've heard this a million times by now. Don't sell yourself short, Game Maker. I couldn't help but notice PB's ears perk up, especially at the mention of the word Savior. I slowly stand up and start to walk away. I can hear a few key words before I'm out of earshot. He's definitely telling this PB the same story he told me. I approached the center of a tavern with slight anxiety. All of the eyes were upon me, watching me. Normally this would be scary, but it feels different. Was I truly the savior of all these people? What would I do to help them exactly? I only knew little of the power within me. I wasn't quite sure how I would use it to save Tara. There had to be something more to this power, or perhaps something more to this situation. I feel like I haven't been told everything, or at the very least, Enimon and Conrad haven't. It's so secret that even they haven't been told? They were like the left and right hand of the king? They were like the left and right hand of the king. I scanned the bar one final time, making eye contact, but the people quickly turn away as if in fright. I see a forlorn look in their eyes. I can tell that life for them is less than stellar. That fills me with determination to change this world. One day, they would wear faces of true happiness. Once I speak to the king, I'll probably go to the Ark. We'll need to discuss our next move pretty quickly. So I guess the one thing I can do for now is wait. I spot Fidget standing at the bar with a barmaid. Or perhaps the barmaid, I haven't seen any others.
Yeah, it's a real mass fest in this game, guy.
Don't go feminist on me, man. I decide to approach him for the time being. It's probably better to stick with familiar faces. I'm not complaining too much anyway. It's hard for me to voice act female characters, okay? So, oh, never mind. Thanks. Speak to the devil.
No, Fidget. Soft circular motions. Otherwise you risk scratching the glass.
I'm sorry, Trish. I was just doing how PB taught me.
Hey, let's not forget the important facts. Remember who the head barmaid is?
You are?
Indeed. So let PB teach you PB things. I'll teach you barmaid things, got it?
Got it?
Fidget smiles wildly and starts cleaning glassware. Once I'm closer, I formally introduce myself. Fidget puts out his hand and immediately retracts it. Did he have something against shaking hands? Trish looks at him and looks at me. She immediately puts her hands out to shake mine. Unfortunately, she forgot she was holding a glass cup. It drops to the ground and shatters loudly. Apparently, shaking my hand was more important to her.
Hi, I'm Trish, the local master barmaid. But I like to teach my trade on the side. Fidget is my latest student.
Master barmaid? That was a self-proclamation for sure. Something tells me this is going to end horribly. I have flashbacks of Rook teaching Jade his humor. She doesn't clean up the broken glass. Instead, she just takes a few steps to the side. Wow, I'm not sure how to take that.
I'm teaching Fidget to be the best. He wants to make his mom super proud. That is, when she comes back, I mean.
I'm going to be the best barmaid ever. When Mom comes back, she won't even recognize me.
I think he means bartender? Barmaid is a female nomenclature. And what does she mean by comes back? Did PB and Fidget's mother go somewhere? Trish reaches out and pats the top of his head. He perks up a lit and looks incredibly happy about this. They've both forgotten about the broken glass.
I hope she comes back soon. I've been waiting for a real long time.
Trish lets out a nervous giggle and looks at me. She takes out another glass and starts cleaning it again.
So what brings you here? I saw you came with those two men. Most people say they attract trouble.
I laugh nervously, but for a different reason. I tell her that they're taking me to meet the king. That, and check their mail while filing my papers.
Wow, you're going to meet King Valakles? I'm so jealous. Can I come with you? I haven't seen him since I was a kid. Maybe he'll know where my mom is.
Fidget, calm down. Don't be like that. It's rude to impose yourself on others. You should apologize to Tantroo.
Oh, sorry. I just get a little excited. I thought he might know where my mom is. She's so old. He knows all sorts of things.
I feel bad. If it weren't for Trish, I'd say yes. He seems really dedicated to find his mother. Dedication is something you have to respect nowadays. If the situations were reversed, I'd have asked too.
So, they're checking the mail? I see that involves chatting with PB.
She tilts her head in the direction I came from. I see PB yelling and flailing his arms around. It looks like he's lecturing them pretty fiercely.
He gets like that often. He flies off the handle so easily. But you'll learn to love it, I guess.
Eddymon and Conrad proceed to wave me over. I cut the conversation with Trish and Fidget short, but I let them know that we'll continue it later. I had too many questions to let them stand up. Like, where did Fidget's mother go, for example? I also wanted to learn more about the tavern as well, and it would be best to learn from an unbiased source. I don't believe that Fidget and Trish know my identity. They treat me like anyone else that came here. I couldn't say the same for Eddymon or Conrad. They're definitely biased in their service to the king, yet I'm still unsure how this affects the situation.
Sounds good. You know where to find us.
Yeah, in a heaping pile of broken glass. I walk back towards Eddymon, Conrad, and PB, but out of the corner of my eye I see someone staring. They scope out my route and quickly intercept me, almost like they don't want me to get there. Normally I would have been surprised, but not today. I've constantly been bumping into people as of late. I stop in my tracks so I don't crash into him. For a moment, I'm glad I did. This man is massive. He could probably rip me in two with his sheer strength. You. He looks down at me. Suddenly, I'm filled with fright. Your friends talk loudly. They want to hide your role as the savior. But their volume contradicts this desire. His voice is very deep, and his accent is thick. What kind of accent? You need to tell me what accent so I can try to emulate it, please. Like what you expect from a band of tribesmen. Oh, okay, so basically deep and, sort of like I was already doing it. Alright, so whatever. Wherever he's from, he's not from around here. Tell them to keep their mouths shut. It could get them into very big trouble. Trouble that is otherwise easily avoided. He grips his ass as if to threaten me. If a time like that comes, I will be there. I offer protection in exchange for money. That is, when I'm not babysitting PB. Him and his brother need constant watch. But I sell my services in my spare time. You'll know where to find me, Tantroo. So, he's the guardian of PB and Fidget, and he knew my freaking name? I didn't introduce myself, did I? He's a very good listener, apparently. This must be who PB threatened to get involved earlier. If that was the case, I don't blame Endymon's reaction. Oh, sorry for not introducing myself. I feel a little out of place over here. That's better. Righty. Game joke. See, he moved to the right, which is why he felt out of place on the left side of the screen. I just shouldn't probably had to have explained that. That's better. You can call me Righty. I run the Mercenaries Guild here on Terra. He extends his arm to shake mine. I do so in turn, and it promptly falls off. He has a grip that's more than firm. It's like trying to shake the president of France's hand, man. He just won't let go. If he tried, he could easily break my hand. I'm known here as a protector. My services are costly but worthwhile. I guide people along their paths in life. I'm not sure I heard everything, but your path seems to be quite an arduous one, so I'm sure you'd benefit from my help. You should keep your identity more secret. Anyone and Comrade had been loud about it. It could attract a certain kind of person. Those who would hold you for ransom, or do other unimaginable things. Oh boy. I can't be the only one who overheard, so you must assume that other people know. To that end, I have a proposition. Meet me in the wine cellar whenever you can. And make sure to come alone, alright? And that's not a good idea. We need to be away from some watchful eyes. Without another word, he walks off. His large steps shake the floor beneath me. My heart is beating like a drum. I don't think I've ever seen a man so imposing. I continue to walk over to Endymon, Conrad, and PB. But I'm still open to getting interrupted again. I have a habit of bumping into random people lately.
So, I see you met Righty. Always eager to sell his services. But at least he's able to make money. PB glares at Endymon and Conrad. Hey, you said you'd be okay with waiting. Unless you just con that story out of us. And that wouldn't be cool at all, PB.
Oh yeah, the savior. My guarantee for prompt renovations. I hope for your sake the story is true. If I don't get my money like they promised, I'll get Righty involved here pretty quick. And he's not the kind who... to those who cross me.
Hey now, there's no need for that. We have no reason to lie. We mean it.
I guess we'll see, won't we?
PB trots off towards Trish and Fidget. I wouldn't be surprised if he yells at them next. Or if he accidentally steps on that broken glass on the carpet, in that broken glass carpet.
So, that was Righty. We, kinda almost worked with him. He was going to be the third assassin, but as you can tell, it didn't work out. He branched off and formed his own unit. I guess you could say he's our rival. We fight against him more often than not.
He steals a lot of our business. You know, with us having to kill someone. He sells his services to protect them. That's why we haven't killed anyone lately. Valquez has given us different work. Kinda like Player's scheme, and you. I'm not sure what Righty wants with you. He probably just sees a chance to make money. I don't like those kind of people.
I'll bet he wants you instead. Valquez has promised lots of money, an amount that Righty can never deny. Be wary of what he tells you. His lust for gold could mean subterfuge. He'll frighten you into feeling vulnerable, and that's when he'll give you his pitch. He's a great salesman, that's for sure. But Conrad and I, on the other hand, we have nothing to hide from you. If he wants to meet you, by all means. I have some mail to check in the meantime, as well as some immigration papers to file. I'm sure I'll see you later then.
I'll be here twiddling my thumbs. I don't get involved in anything fun. I mean, not that checking mail is fun. Oh, one more thing though. If Righty wants to team up with us, tell him he can go find his own savior. He's always after a huge sum of money. But he'll pretend that that's not the case. I'll bet he wants to mend things with us. And at that, I'd laugh in his face. It's business, and we're rivals. I'm not doing anything with that man again. I nod. I wasn't aware that they had a history like this, but suddenly their actions made some sense. It seems like everyone here was related in some way. They all had pasts intertwined with one another. I start to walk in the same direction as Righty. I hope that the cellar would be easy to find, and sure enough, it actually is. I see a large wooden door with a drawing taped to it. It's a cartoon wine bottle with arms and legs. Upon closer inspection, it had a wide, beaming smile. In the corner it said, "This is my best friend." And underneath it, it's signed by Fidget. That's cute. Perhaps I'll compliment him later, but for now, I'm on a mission of importance. I open the wine cellar and begin my descent. My mind fills with doubts that what Righty could want. Would you like to save your game? Yes. Once again, this is like the second save, and there's been no choices at all. Like, I haven't had a single choice this entire video, and we are like a half hour in. This is certainly a visual novel, for sure. The stairs creak heavily as I enter the cellar, in a way that would destroy any attempt at stealth. There's no doubt about it, he knew I was here. But at least he'd be able to tell I came alone. But then where was he? I finally reached the bottom. The cold floor sends shivers up my spine. The only heat in this place is from the flickering candles. I take steps forward, looking at all the wine. There's so many bottles, so many varieties. Did PB and Fidget brew this all on their own? I scan the place to the best of my ability, but for the life of me, I can't find Righty. Hey. I jump through the air in fright. How in the world did he get behind me?
Oh, did I frighten you? My apologies, Tantroo. Did you come through? Did you make sure to close that door?
I nod. He seems pretty paranoid about all this. Either that, or he's about to tell me something big. I'm actually not sure what would be worse right now. So instead, I stare at him with an inquisitive silence.
Listen, I'll make this quick. Wasting time isn't my nature. I've been following you.
He's been following me? That's really creepy.
Ever since you arrived in Terra, I watched you drop in that forest. I watched you make your way to Rio.
Rael? That must be the name of this town.
I know who you are and your mission here. So you don't have to hide anything from me.
Why would he be following me like that? And how did he know about that ritual? I couldn't help but shake this feeling. I feel like everyone's been lying to me.
I don't think you fully understand things. But then again, neither do the assassins. They are simply being used by the king.
Huh?
Give me a chance to explain myself first. I assure you that I am not against you. I value your life and safety. If I wanted to hurt you, I would have. After all, I'm blocking the only exit.
That's a pretty terrifying way to reassure me. But he spoke the truth as harsh as it was.
So please, hear me out, I beg you. You're about to make a terrible mistake.
Shrug and decide to listen. I wasn't in a position to make an educated decision. I moved to the wall and pressed my back to it. Better to get comfortable for what I'm about to hear.
Now where should I begin?
He takes a few moments before speaking, as if he's lost in thought.
Let's start with the issue of Velasquez. I will get his pronunciation right at some point in my life, I assure you, and that will be great by me. I have some very condemning evidence. He's lying, playing a sinister scheme. He touted you as the savior to everyone. Thanks to your friends, this is spreading. But I know this was more part of his plan. The more people will talk about you, the easier it is to hide his true intent. He lets his citizens spread the rumors.
I have to be wary of what he says. I was told he could resort to deceit. If he's against them, then he's against the king as well. So it makes sense that he'd want me to change sides.
No, I don't know exactly what he's hiding, but he's extremely good at hiding it. But I just know that it's there. Eddieman and Conrad are too far gone to see. Now I'm glad I didn't become an assassin. I was close, but backed out near the end. Velasquez had a ruthless litmus test, and in order to join I had to. Well, I had to do something unthinkable. I can't tell you what it is, though. I swore an oath to secrecy back then, and no matter what, I am still honorable. I had a man undercover in the castle. His job was to extract anything he could. I'm led to believe he found something big. I know that you might not believe me, or at least my word alone. So that's why I have evidence. Velasquez caught my undercover agent. He directed his efforts into capturing him. His name was Kalen, my top mercenary.
Hey, I recognize that name. That's who Endymion and Conrad were expecting mail from.
Kalen was undercover as a royal servant. Velasquez needed him silenced immediately, so he gave Kalen a condemning order. He asked Kalen to help ruin Playa. They'd plant fake evidence in his estate. Together, they would ruin his campaign. If he denied, his cover would be blown, and his reputation as a mercenary ruined. You're useless if you can't hold your cover. Velasquez had him in a checkmate. He had no choice but to accept the mission. So he went on to disrupt Playa's rally. Isn't it extremely convenient? Kalen now rests in a prison, silenced. The one man who could help expose Velasquez
Seemed a little too precise to be coincidence.
and Endymion and Conrad helped the king. They think they are exposing Lord Playa. But this ploy was a ploy to get Kalen in jail. Your friend will find his mailbox empty. Velasquez has already attained his goal. The empty mailbox will be proof enough. Playa has top-notch security on his estate. Kalen will not be able to follow through. He will simply starve and die in prison. I know that Velasquez hates Lord Playa, but this plan has nothing to do with that. If anything, he wants Playa to help out. Playa will keep Kalen under constant watch, and after a week he'll starve to death, taking all of the evidence with him.
That makes sense. Things are starting to come together. Everyone in Terra seems to be connected somehow. This political puzzle is finally starting to take shape.
Endymion and Conrad are too far gone. They would never question their king, no matter how odd the order seemed. Kalen was very skilled at stealth. There was no reason to capture him. He could have planted evidence in the night. And why not ask Endymion and Conrad? They have Player's unconditional trust. They could have easily planted evidence. It makes absolutely no sense. But they serve without question. I fear they are leading you to your demise. And if you doubt what I'm saying, well, they did the same to Kalen. He will die unless he gets broken out. Even when they find their mailbox empty, I don't think they will realize the truth. They will still take you right to the king. Even if that means leaving Kalen to die. You see, they are blinded by money, something they often accuse me of. But me? I value your life. I want to keep you safe from the king, and safe from those two heartless killers. Please, help my cause instead. Together we can rescue Kalen, and in the process, we can expose Velasquez. I'm sure that you hold common sense. We can't just let Kalen die in a cell. Nor can we let Velasquez win like that. Upstairs. I was just putting on an act. I wanted it to seem like a sales pitch. Please maintain that facade for me, okay? If they ask you what happened, Tell them you refuse my offer to help. Do not reveal anything I have said to you.
He lets out a sigh.
I wish I could have gone to you first. It would have spared so much trouble. No doubt you are extremely confused. If I found you first, you'd be fine. It makes more sense with a clear head. An open mind, like the other one had.
It is all very confusing. I'm not sure what to do. Lots of information is conflicting right now. Brighty hasn't hurt me yet, so there's that. Wait a minute. Did he just say the other one?
Because of Kalen, I knew about the rituals. Today, I was able to intercept it. I was hoping to grab you, but I couldn't. For some reason, the ritual brought two. So instead of you, I got someone else. Perhaps they can convince you as a friend.
He turned his head to the darkness of the cellar. Oh, I know who it is. I know who this is.
It's the other blue squirrel dude. Yeah, it's probably Squirrel Dude.
Yeah. What's his name? God, it's been like, what? It's only been a full episode. I forgot his name. God, what's his name? Mr. Blue Squirrel Dude. I bet you that's who it is. He turns his head to the darkness of the cellar.
You can come out now.
A shadow emerges from the darkness. At that moment, I was utterly shocked. I saw the last person I expected to see on Terra. It's the blue squirrel. Yeah, I told you. I told you. Keela, that's his name. Thank you. Thank you, game, for reminding me who his name is. Keela? And plus, oh yeah, and plus the thumbnail is that picture, isn't it? That's just a random Google image I found, too. Hey, found the thumbnail. Roll credits. Meanwhile, back on Earth, a shady back alley late into the night. Oh God, it's been so long, Rook. What is your voice? Rook, you write articles for Flavor now. Tell me what your voice is. Let's see. So how are you holding up? And a new character. Male, fox, red jacket. I'm tired. You shouldn't have woke me up. Shock, you needed to know. Don't give me any of that nonsense. You and Kliss went way back. So? I just wanted to talk to you about this. I know it must be affecting you somehow. You were childhood friends, you know. You should go back to your contest winners. Seems to me they were more obsessed. Why don't you go interrupt their sleep? Don't be stupid. Listen, you know I care about you. If I were in your shoes, I'd need a friend. I'm just doing what's appropriate, Shock. This affects you more than it does them. Who are you to say what affects me or not? Stuff your nose back in that tablet, Rook. Doesn't belong in my personal business. Sorry for caring. I know why you really called this meeting. You don't care how I feel at all. You care about whether or not I'm staying. Now cut to the chase. None of this is about my friend. It's about how our careers will change. Shock, I really do care. I know what it's like to lose someone. I've been in this exact situation before. Is that so? That's not what I heard. I heard that you like to abandon others. It's the reverse, Rook. People lose you. Now I told you to cut to the chase. What's the real reason you called me here? Fine.
I guess I'll pretend not to care. That's something you're good at. Singe decided to reconstruct the tour. Opening night will be a memorial service. You know, like a vigil in Clace's honor. Really? Singe has sentiment. Well, I guess you could say that. But he did it to minimize refunds. The fans will still want to attend. That makes more sense. Here I thought he might have grown a heart. He wanted me to ask you something. That perhaps you'd make a little speech. You know, as a childhood friend of Clace. The fans might want to hear your voice. Could give a vigil more impact. I don't think about it. Really? He was one of your best friends. This is his memorial service, you know? You really have to think more about this? Indeed, I do. You got a problem with that? No. Also, there will be a big announcement. Daz will take Clace's place in the tour. We would appreciate it if you stayed. Rocker's gonna stay. He pledged his services to Daz. What do you think about that, Shock? I think I'll have to think about it. Very well. Can I go now? I suppose. But first, about the contest winners. They are not precious to me. The contest was Clace's idea, Shock. I did it for him, and now he's gone. They'll wake up to some horrible news, assuming they haven't heard it already. In fact, we might even send them home. Singe needs to decide what we'll do. I'll have you know they don't impact me. Got it. And about what you might be feeling, just please do me one favor, Shock. Don't make the same mistake I did. With all due respect, Rook, only you could screw up that bad. Shock storms off, pushing Rook out of his way. Wow. People think I'm a jerk. Well then, what's gotten into him? Oh, there you are, Daz. I think he skipped a few steps. Went right into the anger stage of grief. That's a fact. I could see it on his face. I guess we all handle things differently. Yeah, some more harmful than others. Thanks for coming to see me, at least. No problem. Is there anything I can do? If I can help in any way, please tell me. Well, I know you were with Singe. Perhaps you have some information for me? Aside from your promotion, I mean. Singe told me that directly. But I don't know much else, other than the changes to opening night. Well, I talked with Rocker for a bit. Seemed more interested in mythology. So I tried to get out of there quickly. You didn't get out of there quickly enough. No! Sounds like him. It's admirable, though. He's still able to study while abroad. If only he had time, he didn't show it off all the time. Yeah, it can be a bit troublesome. I could give you a big lecture, though, especially on the creation of Japan. You're implying I couldn't do the same. Remember, I work with him every day. Heh. Well, anyway, about the murders, I think there's been a breakthrough there. Really? You think I'd know about that? My mailbox is usually flooded at night. The police are even keeping it a secret. But they found a culprit, at least for half of the cases. This person confessed to being a copycat. They were responsible for the gun murders. Interesting. They have a solid alibi for all other cases, so now we're left with a bunch of suicides.
So the real mystery still isn't solved. People are taking their own lives, even if they're completely healthy. And with no evidence behind either, it's as if their bodies were removed. It's the only way this makes sense.
So there's another killer out there then?
Seems to be that way, but the police don't care. They're closing the case in the morning. They'll just be labeled as suicides, even though they're physically impossible.
Indeed. Anyone could realize that. The crime scene don't match the crime. A bit premature to close a case like that.
Of course, but there's nothing we can do. If it's closed, we'll need to know the truth. That leaves it in the hands of others.
So you want to play detective now?
I want to know who did this to us. Don't you? I want to know who killed him.
I'd rather not know. Don't you read? Finding the culprit makes you a target. Just something they need to silence. I'd advise you drop it, Daz. We don't need another lost idol. We need to work on moving forward together.
You have a point. But Singe didn't back down so easily.
He never does. What did he do now?
He already has a suspect in mind. Clay's bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah, and it kinda makes sense. The murders started happening when we arrived, and the scenes seemed expertly tampered with. It makes sense, given his background. He worked for the police before Singe. He'd be able to pull strings like that.
Seems too simple to me.
I thought so at first, but Singe called him in for questioning, and that's where he gets more suspicious. It seems that he's fled Tokyo.
Singe's office earlier that night. What do you mean he's gone?
It's just like it sounds. We can't find him anywhere. He might as well have vanished.
How convenient.
We found a letter in his room, though. It simply reads, "I'm sorry."
An admission of guilt, perhaps?
It doesn't seem that way. If he did this, he wouldn't be sorry. In fact, he wouldn't leave anything behind. It seems to be more genuine apology. Perhaps it's a shame that he failed us. It was his duty to protect Clace, after all. I think the letter is of his resignation. He couldn't face us again after this.
Or maybe it was to throw us off the trail. Now he'll just go live in silence. We need to hunt for him immediately.
That's a pretty far-fetched theory. I don't mean any offense, Singe.
Far-fetched coming from you? I thought you relished in far-fetched. Things being both alive and dead at once. You write about quantum mechanics all day. And you say my theory is far-fetched. At least I've based mine on reality. I'm sorry, Jade. That was rude of me. It's just been a really long night. And I don't think it'll end anytime soon.
I'll accept your apology. You're under extreme duress, after all.
Thank you. So what do we do now?
I think we just move on with our lives. There's not much else we can do. We'll just pay attention to media reports. We're not detectives. We're not police. We can't be expected to solve this, Singe. We have to drop it and leave it to them.
If only it were that simple.
I do agree, but we can't just sit around. The tour isn't going to run itself. We have lots to do and in so little time. First and foremost, a new bodyguard. We'll need to hire some protection. Not just for Daz, but for everyone. I have a few candidates gathered here. I went on a little hunt for CVs. And I've already run a few background checks.
Thank you, Jade. You're helping me stay sane. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Don't mention it. I'm just doing what you pay me for. I recommend the candidate named Archon. Archeron. Is that how I pronounce the name? I think that's it. His past experience is very impressive. That, and he has a perfect track record.
Very well. I'd like to see him. Can you bring him here immediately? I'm sure he'll understand our predicament.
Of course, Singe. But one more thing. What should we do with the contest winners? The sun will rise soon and I have no idea.
Oh, I've completely forgotten. It's always something, isn't it? Bring them here when they wake up, okay? I'll decide what to do when I meet them. This has turned into one huge headache. It might be better to just send them home. I stare in shock for what seems like an eternity. It's only been like 15 minutes, guys. Don't judge yourself so short. My mind is bombarded with impossible questions. A cacophony of thoughts and voices assault my mind. How on earth did Keela end up in Terra just like that?
Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I don't believe in ghosts all that much, but I'd assume I'd feel the same way at seeing one for real. This is the last possible thing I expected to happen. I know, right? Yeah, we're 1 hour in and there's no choices. My gosh, we have gone full-on visual novel at this point. Yeah, no, it's like dump. The funny thing is, like, there was like plenty of options in my mind for choices at, up until this point. Like, do I believe this story? Do I not believe this story? You know, like that's kind of a big one. That might shift the story a little too hard. I don't know how good they are at decision tree making, but still, it's been pretty long. And I don't even know if like the personality choice is really affecting the inner dialogue I'm having here. It'd be interesting to know if it does have any impact, and if so, how significant. I wouldn't think it'd be too big, but anyways, yeah, that's just kind of an hour break as to synopsis. Yes, no choices. Yes, that sucks. Let's make some bets on how long will we get a choice before the end of this session. Like, I'm gonna go to probably about 10 o'clock or 10:30, like I usually do. Like 10 o'clock, I think. But oh man. Anyways, this is the last possible thing I expected to happen.
Snap out of it, okay? There's lots to talk about here.
That much was true. I'm snapped back into reality. Perhaps a thorough explanation of this can help me. Because right now, I'm still wondering why Keela is here. I decided that would probably be a good question to start with. Well, that was the other ritual, remember?
Well, I remember one last thing. We were in the hotel watching some TV, and then they reported that Clace was killed.
Reddy's ears perked up at the mention of the name Clace. At least, that's what it seemed like to me. It's possible he was confused by the word TV.
But then, that's all I remember from Tokyo. As quick as I saw that, I was here. I thought I was hallucinating or something. I panicked and eventually collapsed. I had a face full of soil, embarrassingly.
I was underground for a really long time. That is, until this guy found me.
He motions his head towards Righty, who's on the left, by the way. He's out of place.
Yes, yeah, that's how it happened. I don't think the ritual would bring two. So as soon as I could, I snatched Kyla up. I was too late by the time you came. Eddieman and Conrad already got you. Our only option was to watch and sneak. I had to find a chance to get you alone. That's why I invited you down here to talk. Keela had told me a lot about you as well.
Can I continue now?
Yes, of course.
Righty told me his side of the story. Let me just say, it makes way more sense. I think you're following the wrong guys. Anyone and Conrad are too gullible. They believe anything the king says. They don't even realize that they're slaves. I'm not sure how to make this any clearer. The king does want Lord Player to lose, but this Kalen matter is totally separate. They're blatant holes in their orders, but they're too loyal to the king to see. They followed without a single objection, but right here thinks before he acts. He's not a thrall to this Velasquez. I think he's the good guy here, Tantroo. What do you think? You have my back, don't you?
I honestly don't know what to think. I'm so confused. Some of this makes sense, but some of it's outrageous. I start to piece it all together in my head. Keela didn't mention the Ark. It must be specific to me. It makes sense that he got here before me then. The man in the Ark didn't intercept Keela's trip. But I still have no idea why Keela was brought here. Is it just because he was beside me when I was taken?
I explained everything to Keela. He had a revelation about the ritual. He said that your world suffers from it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay, this is where he's probably going to talk about how the midnight deaths are tied to it. So back home, we probably look like we got killed or something, right? I'm guessing.
I nearly forgot about that. This whole world and the ritual? It ties into the midnight deaths.
Called it!
Your two friends, Endymion and Conrad. The ritual they're performing? It's the sole cause of the midnight deaths.
Same time of day, blah, 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 lines up. Yeah, I covered that last episode, guys. Interesting line of thought. I asked him to elaborate. I don't have to elaborate, I already understand it. Alright, come on. I want to see if his thoughts line up with my own.
Well, the ritual was once a day, same time every day.
Yep, got it.
The same rules as the midnight deaths. There's a time difference, though. Midnight on Earth could be daytime here. Regardless, the rituals are stealing Earthling. And when Earthling comes here, they die. At least they do on Earth. For some reason, they live on in Terra. There's no other explanation.
It makes sense, but there are a few glaring holes. We were brought here after midnight. We were still able to hear news of Clace's death. I challenge his theory with that fact.
Hey, you're right. In that case, I don't know.
Furthermore, the theory assumes some odd things. First of all, that Clace is alive and well on Terra. And second, that we are both dead on Earth. I decide not to tell them about the Ark. I play alongside his process of thought. If his theory were true, there would be 3 rituals. One for Clace, one for him, and one for me. I direct that challenge to Righty.
It was only performed once a day. Those were Velasquez's strict orders. I don't think they would disobey him.
It can't be coincidence, though. They're way too similar to ignore. You and I standing here is proof of that. A small timing issue can't prove me wrong. Everything still kinda lines up.
That's not true at all. Place isn't with us. And Righty says the ritual was only ever performed once. And what the fuck is launching fireworks right now? Fuck you! Okay, gonna have to speak over apparent fireworks for some freaking reason. It's frickin' July 21st. That is the farthest away you can get from frickin' 4th of July, you dicks. Anyways. It pokes holes all over Keela's theory, but there has to be a reasonable explanation.
Perhaps the ritual brought all of you, but you just traveled at different speeds. This would compensate for the difference.
No, it can't be that. We were still on Earth past midnight. Let me think about this for a moment. I got it! You know the news report? It was on TV an hour after Clace's death. What if time on Terra just moves faster? If 1 hour there is 1 day here? Well, it explains everything perfectly. The ritual of another day brought us here. It also explains why we never saw Clace. We came here a day later than he did. He could be anywhere by now, you know?
That's possible. It's not an overly huge difference. Let me know if I may have to cut this short if they're just going to keep doing that, because I have no idea how well you can hear me over that crap. That's a problem with living in a populated area. People are going to be what people are going to be. That's possible. It's not an overly huge difference. Though then again, it's like I've done what? Probably I don't know how long I've been doing this, for like a few months now, and this is the first time any majorly loud things have interrupted. Anyways. Besides, Endymion and Conrad did talk about time's flow. I still dislike the implication that we're both dead. But some of... Yeah, get it, right? But some of this things is just wishful thinking. We don't know the specifics about either world. Namely, the amount of rituals and midnight deaths. If we did, we'd be taking steps in the right direction. But again, there were too many coincidences at play. I'd have to stop considering the deaths a mystery now. We needed specifics, but it clearly involved Terra. And the king's ritual was the most probable cause.
Kella believes that the ritual is responsible. Endymion and Conrad are the murderers. There is logic behind this theory as well. Either way, we can't learn the truth. Not while chilling down in a wine cellar. I'm sure you can agree with me on that one.
Jeez Louise. The funniest thing is that those kind of things are illegal in this state, and unless like someone's professionally licensed. So either they're doing it in the park behind my house professionally, or my neighbors who fly libertarian flags quite often are being very libertarian. Anyway. Righty cracks his knuckles loudly. He then stares at me menacingly.
One very important question remains. One that you can answer here and now. Who do you believe? Will you go back upstairs? Will you travel with Endymion and Conrad, even though the king lies to all of you? Or will you come with us? We can rescue Kalen as a team, and his testimony will expose Valquez.
Liberty, boom. Oh my god, my hand, oh my hand! Don't tread on my hand, fireworks! Ah! This is like that scene from Mary Poppins. You gotta grab everything as it's like falling off the walls. Ah! Actually, no, it's like the thing I loved about that scene from Mary Poppins is like how nonchalant they are about it. Just like, oh yeah, everything's moving around. I'm just gonna grab it real quick.
and his testimony will expose Veloquez. I can't guarantee your safety if you leave. I won't be able to watch over you anymore. But if you side with us, I will keep you safe. We'll help Kalen reveal the king's motives. That may be how you really save Terra. We're under the hand of a tyrannical ruler.
You're going to come with us, right? I mean, we're friends and stuff.
This is a hard decision to make. If I sided against Enimon and Conrad, they'd hate me. I'd probably make enemies out of Veloquez's assassins. But on the other hand, Kalen might not have proof. The king may not be as bad as Righty claims. There's also the risk of the rescue mission failing. That, and I'd have assassins out to get me. Siding with Righty and Keela seems very risky. I might not be able to complete my mission as savior. However, if I side with Enimon and Conrad, then Keela and Righty might become my enemies. They teased over an hour and 20 minutes for a choice. Yes, exactly. But Enimon and Conrad will bring me right to the king. I'll be able to hear his plan from the man himself. This would be the easier route for me to take, especially if I want to help the man in the Ark. But what if Veloquez did want to use me for evil? There's a chance that meeting him could condemn me. Once we're face to face, he could do anything. And what if Enimon and Conrad had a secret agenda? They are assassins after all, not peacekeepers. This is a tough choice indeed. I wish it were as easy as the choices back in Tokyo. Things are getting far less black and white on Terra. I stand in silence thinking of what to say next. Do you want to save your game? Yep. I knew that was coming. And since, once again, no choices, we're just overwriting Game 6. So, here we go. So, the last choice branch was at 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 17 seconds. This choice branch that's going to be after this one is 2 hours later. God dang, dude. Woo! I'm reading a book here. Who do I believe? Who do I side with? Obviously, there's only one person here, so they can make whatever choice they want to make. And I'm playing up to the next save point. That's if I have to shout over fireworks. This is going to be interesting to listen to on the feedback. You dicks. So, Enimon and Conrad, I stand with you two. Yeah, I think so too. Like, yeah, it's like, it's sort of obvious that that's kind of the direction. It's sort of like, I think if many people were given a neutral response to it, they would pick this one, because it's like, you know Keela, you haven't, a vested interest in them. And the other two are kind of like, you can tell they're kind of buffoonish. My god, they picked the loudest fireworks they could possibly pick out of the freaking things. Of course, it seemed like the obvious choice. The assassin fox was hitting on PB. Which, by the way... Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. That's... wow. Okay. This one I will say on the channel. As I said, you can come, you watch the chat and hang out next week at Friday at 8:30 p.m. and hopefully they won't be doing fireworks at that time. But this one, here goes. The assassin fox was hitting on PB, which, by the way, his name stands for Power Bottom. That's very possible, considering his personality archetype too. Like he's like loud and very obnoxious, but also his character seems frailish and sort of what they call a stereotypical what's they call girly girly boy, I think they call it. I don't know. But anyways, that's going way too much into red light territory. Yeah, exactly. Censor me, you stupid fireworks. All right. Anyways, yeah, that word. I don't know if that's offensive slang or not, so I won't say that. But yeah, it's like the what's it called? The what the heck is it called? The dessert cake, right? The dessert cake with the cream filling. Anyways, of course, it seems like an obvious choice. At least I tell myself that as a method of reassurance. It wasn't in my nature to let someone starve in prison. Well, yeah. Even if it meant losing track of the reason I'm here. I might not learn for what the king wants this way, but at least I'll know I'll be saving something. And Keela trusts Righty. I should trust him too. I don't think Keela is the type to be easily manipulated. But then, another thought crossed my mind. If you suddenly found yourself in a strange world, you would luckily trust the first person to help you. There's a point in time where you're impressionable. Maybe that's why I trusted Endymion and Conrad. Perhaps if they got Keela, he'd side with them too. I decided that I should quickly drop this thought. It will do nothing except make me doubt my choice. However, bridges will definitely get burnt. It could possibly make Endy and Conrad my enemy. We've been over this. I don't want that to happen, it's just a fact. I ask Brady for what our next step is. And I let him know my allegiance lies with them.
Well, your choice makes me happy. I'm glad you've seen the truth. But for now, we simply have to wait.
This is really awesome. We get to be partners on...
Jesus! I saw the flashes for that one reflecting off the freaking window. Jesus, man. Anyways.
It was so exciting and awesome that it was like fireworks in my heart. Anyways, this is really awesome. We got to be partners on Terra, too.
I smile. Things are starting to take shape. The huge uncertainty I felt earlier now fades away. Partner Jesus Savior. Face palms.
I would advise you go back upstairs. Go about your business as you see fit. But perhaps stay away from the assassins. In the meanwhile, I will talk with Keela. Our assault on Player's home needs planning. But know you're made the honorable choice.
Of course he has. That's what he's good at. Perhaps I'll come speak with you later. But for now, I have to talk to Righty. He seems to want my input for some reason.
It's true. But you have a part to play. Pretend that you're still on their side. I'll make sure to find you when we need you. Kalen will suffer no longer, and Velasquez's tyranny, tyrannical reign, will come to an end. This is your true duty as the Savior.
Both of them walk away, leaving me alone. I'm left to ponder the decision I just made. That and the consequences that might come with it. Various scenarios play out in my mind, some good, some horrific. They repeat as I make my way back upstairs. Again and again and again and again and again. When I get back upstairs, I notice how loud it is. The tavern definitely became more lively since I left. The place is absolutely littered with patrons. They all look incredibly happy amongst themselves. Much better than the faces I saw them wear earlier. At this moment, it seemed like Terra doesn't need saving. Of course, that feeling was emphatical, as most are. Inferior? I don't even know what that word is. I realize the happiness is most likely from the drink. Each of them holds an overflowing stein in their hands. They seem not to care how much they're spilling. I try and figure out my next course of action. Righty suggests that I not talk to Endymion and Conrad. Of course, they'd find out it odd if I ignored them, especially if I just came talking from their enemy. Perhaps I should just go make small talk. I'll tell them Righty tried to sell me stuff. I could see if they mention anything about their mail. If the box was empty, Righty would be correct. Of course, that would be nothing to revel about. It would mean the fact that Kalen was in trouble. and not the kind of trouble we could ignore. But if anyone was equipped to rescue Kalen, it had to be Righty. He was both strong and smart. I'm just glad that his goals aligned with mine. We wanted to learn about the truth about Velasquez.
Hey there. Surprised at all the people?
I nod.
People seem to forget what we are. At night, we turn into a watering hole. No immigration papers to be found. Not that it bothers me, of course. Everyone is on some journey on their own. We cater to almost every type of person. People who've come a long way to be here, or people who still have a long way to go. Anyways, I saw you go downstairs. You must have had a chat with Righty?
I had nod once more.
He always has something to say, that one. Sometimes I think he's just bored. He sits down all day on his own. Do you want to come have a drink? Me and Fidget were about to sit down. There's something we should talk about. We have our own special table. We don't need to wait for any vacancies.
Points to the table near the corner of the tavern. I see Fidget sitting down. He's talking to himself. I shrug and say, sure. I didn't have anything to lose. Well, you don't give me a choice there? Come on.
Great. Oh, and one more thing. While you're here, you get a drink for free.
He starts walking towards the table and I follow. I wave to Endymion and Conrad as I pass them. I just want to know that I'm not ignoring them. They wave back with a nervous look on their faces. When we arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I yawn loudly and stretch my arms. Hopefully I can just relax for a while now. I haven't gotten to do much of that lately.
Hey again, Tantroo.
I just sit there and wait for him to hold out his hand. But he doesn't do it this time. Interesting.
So I heard you're the savior or something, and that you're meeting Velasquez. That is so cool. I wish I was important like that. I haven't seen the king since I was little.
I glance over at PB. So we told Fidget then? Endymion and Conrad surely wanted them to keep it a secret. I guess PB is the type to, talk. I'll need to keep that in mind for the future.
Hey, don't look at me like that. Don't contempt me for telling Fidget. That's my best friend, you know? And besides, what kind of threat is he? It's not like he can ever hurt anybody. That's my brother. I trust him forever.
Fair enough. Dropping it for now.
We had something to talk about, remember? I didn't take you over here to judge me.
This is more like the PB I saw earlier. Easily angered and extremely defensive.
Are you gonna let me talk or not?
I surrender and apologize for derailing the subject.
Thank you. So if we can get back on track, I need to talk to you about Righty. I know that you two talked in that cellar. And I'm not sure I know what happened. He hates being King Velasquez with a passion. This is one of the reasons I dislike Righty. That hatred totally clouds his judgment. Let me guess. Wanted you to expose the king? Said he had some sort of evil plan?
I nod. That was actually an apt summary.
I'm gonna lay this out right here. Velasquez has never hurt anybody. We've only known peace under his reign. Well, except for... I'll get there, Fidget. Just hold on. History of this rule goes back millennia. He's been nothing but altruistic. I know that Righty is strong and smart, but on the other hand, he's biased. And I really have no idea why. Fidget and I owe Velasquez so much. I don't know why he hired those assassins, but I trust his judgment unconditionally.
I guess PB doesn't know that they always worked for him. He thinks that they're new to Velasquez's employ. I won't reveal this to him. It seems to be a secret. I wonder if their relationship had to do with this. Anyone and Conrad did mention they were almost a trio. Perhaps Velasquez did something to make him back out? I think Righty mentioned something about a litmus test. Hey, you there. I'm trying to talk to you here. It's rude to stop paying attention. He's right, and I apologize once more. This whole situation is just getting more and more confusing. I don't know whose side is the right side. Now, if you'll let me continue... Righty used to work for Velasquez. What? Really? And I don't mean casually or anything. Righty was Velasquez's go-to man. That's a surprise to me. I wonder what caused him to turn so drastically. There was an incident about 10 years ago. Me and Fidget are very young. Velasquez called the Exodus Project. Exodus? That seems very familiar to me. I guess I need to explain Tara some more. Or else this story won't make much sense. I forgot that you're new here for a bit. Tara is extremely open to immigration. We offer people a second chance on our soil. To start anew, or to escape harm. But once they arrive, they're kind of stuck here. Leaving Tara is impossible. Impossible? That's what makes us special. We're sort of like a one-way street. Still better than your world, though. I heard that they have no open connections. I'm not sure how you even survive. That's a good question, actually. Anyway, back to the Exodus Project. It's an attempt to open our connection. Velasquez wanted to let people leave. If people can come and go as they please, Terra would flourish for an eternity. No more overpopulation or famine. That, and Velasquez could expand. No more rule over just Terra. He could rule the entire galaxy for sure. Of course, it didn't go as planned. One look and you can easily tell that. It was a huge disaster. People died. Either that or they got stranded in space. Our mother was one of these people. Velasquez wanted only the smartest on Terra. Unfortunately, they suffered the most. We lost some of our key public figures. But we know that Mom is out there. She'll come back one day. She has to. She was so smart. Fidget exclaims with pride. She's smart enough to find her way back. I don't care how far she ended up. I'm being patient. I'll even wait forever. Righty was close to our mom, you should say. He felt responsible for her disappearance, especially since he helped Velasquez out. Velasquez needed to fix his public image. He needed to show people that he cared. There was some heat on him after all this. So he funded the creation of our tavern. He tasked Righty with building it. Around 10 years ago, we weren't here. Wait, so Velasquez was the true owner of the tavern, and he got ready to build it from the ground up? That was a really impressive feat. I'm stunned. Velasquez wanted to create a landmark, and one of galactic proportions, I mean. So the people knew how to get back home. He wanted word of Terra to spread. He wanted everyone to know about the tavern. Eventually, the lost ones would hear of it. And that's the reason we run this place. We hope that one day, Mom will come back. That maybe she'll walk through that door. That's what keeps us going. With every second, she gets closer. She's going to be so proud of me. I've grown really big since she left. And I'm learning to be good at chores. You're doing a great job, Fidget. That's what I wanted to tell you anyways. I don't think Velasquez is up to anything. At least nothing that Righty believes. At first, the scope of this place was clear. But over time, its reason was lost. Now we're just a plain bar and office. As this happened, Righty changed too.
He got less interested in waiting. Perhaps he lost hope, assuming Mom was... No, not that cat. Hey, don't say that. It's not true. Sorry. So, Righty has a few reasons to hate, but we don't know what the real one is. I try pressing for him all the time, but he just can't tell me. Something about being a man of honor. But he never leaves the tavern or our side. I think he wants to make it up to us. But though I forgave him long ago.
A man of honor, huh? Righty said that earlier to me in the cellar when I asked him why he didn't become an assassin. Could that have anything to do with all this?
The more time he spent here at the tavern, the more he hated King Velasquez. It grew and grew over a long period of time. And that's all there is to it, really. His hatred seems to transcend everything. No matter how much good Velasquez has done. And that is a lot of good. I'm sure you can agree with me. I mean, just look at this tavern.
Indeed, Velasquez seems like a very nice ruler. He owned up to and corrected his mistakes. Doing something like that is very noble. Definitely a mentality befitting of a king. But now I'm even more conflicted. On one side had an unmatched hatred for Velasquez, and the other side had an unwavering loyalty. It seemed even more impossible to choose a side now. Were Killa and I manipulated? Was Righty and his gang a group of radicals? Or were Endymion and Conrad the radicals here, killing any opposition to Velasquez's twisted reign? I guess I would never know until the right time came, and all I could do in my situation is wait and see.
Let's push matters to the side of the past aside. I have my own theory for the future. Whatever it is that makes you special, I think I know what Velasquez wants. He wants to helm another Exodus project.
Whoa, really?
You're being hailed as a savior. I have no doubt in my mind. He used that term in the past as well. Before the first Exodus project, he promised that Terra would be saved. I'd say you have a long journey ahead. I guess it's only fitting you came here. The Wayfarer's Tavern, I mean. I hope your journey is swift and safe.
I'd wish that too, although I did plan a detour. I hope that siding with Righty didn't haunt me. I don't want to be the enemy of Velasquez, nor do I want an enemy of Endymion and Conrad. I hope that we are able to save Kalen. It pains me to know he's suffering. I decided to ask PB his thoughts on Lord Player.
Well, some people don't like immigration. They think it's harming Terra irreparably. Lord Player is one of those men. I can see where he's coming from, but he seeks total severance. The Exodus project was more admirable. Life on an unconnected world? I'm not sure Player wants that. Why Player wants that? It seems like it would be impossible. No offense, of course. I'm sure they made it work back on Earth. None taken. In fact, Terra was odd for me. We just have some major cultural differences. Well, thanks for listening to me anyway. I didn't mean to take for so long. I'll let you get back to your friends.
When he says friends, he looks over to Endymion and Conrad. I smile and thank him for the chat before leaving. And no one drank a dang drop. I better not tell him who I aligned myself with earlier. Wouldn't want him to spill the beans in that regard. Before I can get up to leave, Fidget calls to me. He grabs one of my hands to prevent me from leaving. I'm rather shocked. I didn't think he liked contact.
Tantroo?
He gulps as if he is extremely nervous.
Do you think I'll ever see my mom again? I really miss her.
His eyes seem very glossy, like tears are forming. The grip on my hand tightens, becoming intense. What should I say to him? You'll see your mom again, or... Dun 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 dun. What do you think? You think you'll see my mom again? Will I see my mommy? Or will I not see my mommy? You know, it's only one person here still, so they can make the decision if they wish. Nuclear war threatens biological death, one big petri dish of doom. But will I see my mom again? That's the most important question here, is if they will see their mother again, or do not. Mommy, mom, where are you? Well, will I see her again? Come on now. You're leaving me waiting. It's like terrible. Yeah, give him false hope. Yeah! False hope for the win. I nod and smile at Fidget. I tell him it's only a matter of time now. After this much waiting, she's bound to be close.
Yes, I knew it. Thanks, Tantroo.
This seems to be all he wanted to hear. He retracts his hand and sits silent next to PB. I guess this conversation is over for now. As soon as I stand up, I look towards the assassins. They seem to be deep in conversations amongst themselves. But as I'm sure it involves me, I walk towards them. I know it was against Righty's suggestion, but I'm starting to feel some internal doubt. After a few moments of walking, I get to the table. They look up to me swiftly, with a lot of worry. I wonder what's on their minds. Oh, they don't have the letter. I wait for them to break the silence. That's crazy. Let the crushing depth of pain hit his heart later on in life, so when he's become cynical, an old bunny cross-dressing as a barmaid, and this is how the show's cheer started. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Anyways, yes. Conrad. I gotta get back to that voice. Alright, here we go. Going for a little bit too long. Gotta get to that next save, man. Endurance, you can make it. Well, aren't you making a lot of friends? Looks like you've gotten quite the following. I'm not sure how to take that.
Don't be so rude, Conrad. They're free to make friends as they want.
I change the subject and ask if I missed anything. Not much. Just our entire plan crumbling. Why don't you give them the bad news, Andy?
Well, something just came up just now. It appears we've reached a bit of a hiccup. Although it's not as bad as Conrad says. I handed in your papers just fine, but it was something else that alarmed me. Our mailbox appears to be empty.
Just like Righty said it would be.
I was hoping to find mail from Kalen, but it seems he hasn't found the time. This is a big red flag, and I am worried. A boy of his skill? This should be no problem for him. Everyone said he was the best mercenary.
Something bad has happened to him. That's what anyone's trying to say.
Not entirely, Conrad. It's just a very small possibility. We shouldn't assume the worst case scenario.
And that's where we disagree. Fact is that we have no mail. Kalen is physically incapable of writing. I guess it's just wishful thinking. He's not good enough for a prison break. His hands are probably tied up pretty bad.
If anyone can do it, it'd be Kalen. And yet here we are. It's quite scary. His resume was flawless and impeccable.
Maybe someone tipped them off? It wouldn't be hard to increase security.
It's possible, yes. But I still don't think Kalen is in any danger. He's far too skilled to have failed his mission. There's no real evidence of danger. Roadblocks happen all the time, Conrad. He's probably just rolling with the punches.
Isn't the lack of mail evidence enough?
Not entirely.
Just a change of plans. If we stay the night, I'm sure we'll see. There may be some slight delay. We shouldn't jump to terrible conclusions. It's not wise to let your anxiety think for you. We should trust in Kalen's ability.
I guess you're right.
Our mailbox is empty for a reason, yes? But it's not because Kalen is in danger. Besides, attacking Playa is a bad idea. Breaking Kalen out would blow our cover. We can't let Playa know our true colors. You forget that we're undercover. We will fail our mission if we do that.
That's true. So you really think Kalen is fine?
I'd bet an eternity of our next pay on it. I'm sure you'll hear from him soon. I don't think he's failed a mission yet.
They continue to debate while I listen. Some of their points are valid, but probably untrue. Of course, I can't say that in front of them. I have to remain as ambiguous as possible for now. The mailbox being empty? That was a huge sign. It solidifies the fact that Righty was right. I'm changing that because Righty was right. Righty was right. Righty was right. I have a huge sigh of relief. I take a huge sigh of relief. I made the right choice. It seems they don't know Kalen was spying on them, or the king either, for that matter. That's how he got involved in all this to begin with. I doubt he'd disrupt the player rally otherwise. Well, what do you think, Tantroo? If you were in our shoes, I mean, would you stand back and wait, or would you try and rescue Kalen? This was an extremely complicated situation, even more so given the nature of my alliance with Righty. I feel like I'm a double agent or something like that. I'm not sure what to say without exposing myself. I try and discern the easiest course of action. Conrad was asking for my opinion on what I would do, but I was drawing something less of a blank. I really can't talk about what Righty told me, nor can I tell them what I plan to go do with him. I have to answer this in a way that fits my personality. Perhaps I can use the questionnaire to my advantage. This would seem less suspicious to them. It would fit the answer that they were looking for internally. I said I preferred defensive stance, I believe. That means I would likely hold off and wait. Okay, so yes, this is where, okay, so he actually comes right out and tells me that the decision I made on the personality test impacted this particular bit of dialogue, which I was thinking of more subtle approaches, but that kind of works too. I wonder if there was more subtle approaches, but this is like, oh, I'm blatantly telling you this is the thing you said because you've answered the personality test a certain way. Anyway, rather than attacking Lord Player head on, it's not what I'd agree with personally, but it's probably what they were expecting me to say, so that's what I tell them when I speak up. Pretty much what I expected to hear. Siding with Edimon, of course. Now you've gone and broke my heart.
Conrad, stop it. It's not like we're taking this to vote. We'll never reach a conclusion tonight. We're gonna have to sleep on it. I'll check our mailbox in the morning.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. But we're gonna go to sleep. We can't rent a room, we're flat broke.
I took care of that earlier. PB added some rooms to our tab. But we'll be making more than enough. It'll be pocket change after the saving. As soon as we can get them to Falquez, I mean.
Fair enough. Edimon pulls out a key from his pocket.
He holds it out towards me and smiles. Here, take this. Your room number is 23.
I grab the key and put it in my pocket.
My room number is 24. Conrad is 22. We will both be the same distance away. Please call to us if anything happens, or if you have any concerns at all. But for now, I would suggest you relax. I'll stay up a while longer myself. I'm sure Conrad will do the same. We will resume our planning in the morning. I'll check the email as soon as I get up. Then we'll have Then we'll just know if it was just delayed. Wait, he said to them the second time he used the savior in a plural manner. Really? I didn't notice. I'm afraid our luck is never that good. However, relaxing sounds great. Anywhere I can get a massage here? I take this as a golden opportunity. I have the ability to retreat from my room for the night. I'm sure that Righty will come and get me when I'm needed. Of course, I start to feel a little bad. Endymion and Conrad care about my well-being, enough to get me my own room at least. It feels a little bit like I'm using them. I keep this conflict exclusively in my head. I don't show any signs of doubt as I leave the table. They wave me off as I walk away, and I return it. Conrad gives me a toothy grin as I walk away. I notice a bunch of doors on the second floor. They must all be rooms for rent. I look for room number 23, where I'll be staying. When I eventually find it, there's a drawing on it. It's a stick figure and a rabbit figure holding hands. Both of the figures are smiling. That's really cute. I look a little closer. It's signed by Fidget. I guess he views us as friends. I'm grateful. Given that this is my room, I must be the stick figure. I unlock the door and take a deep breath as I enter. Finally, I'll have some time to relax. I feel like this is a major victory. But all it is the calm before the storm. Later that night, in the privacy of the wine cellar, I have to say I'm really glad you helped. Destroying them ale was a great idea. Now they'll attack Lord Player for sure. Or at least it'll make Righty do the same. Player's days are now numbered either way. Thank you very much for your help. But about the savior in your midst, that was kept secret even from me. It could be a great contingency plan. I didn't think you'd sell them out, though. How do you think they'd feel about that? I don't need you lecturing me, Riley. I'm old enough to make my own choices. You won't get a reaction out of me here. Very well. You'll get your money soon. I'll have it delivered in a day or two. Perhaps you can buy Fidget a present. Oh, so he destroyed the mail. Ah, okay.
So he's not actually in jail. I'm sorry, I'm thinking a bit. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It's hot.
Perhaps you can buy Fidget a present.
Money? We didn't do this for money, Riley. You said you had information about Mother.
I did? You must be mistaken, PB. Get things written down in the future. It ensures you won't get cheated.
You bastard!
Now, I didn't say you wouldn't get it. So you want information on your mom, huh? Then I have another task that you can do for me.
Not yet. I'm not finished with this. Why do you want Lord Player on a hit list? I thought he was your boss, your friend.
Of course he's not my friend. You're right about being my boss, though. But I hate that man. He's a stepping stone. He's snagged up all the votes for me. When he's gone, I'll take his campaign. And then the king's throne will be mine. And if he's killed by Righty, or even if the assassins get him, more the reason to have them all executed.
What is the next task?
In order to learn about my mother.
I'll tell you soon enough, Peavy. As I mentioned, I have a contingency plan. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be in touch. I don't like this at all. He lied to us, Peavy. Yeah, he did. He probably doesn't know anything about Mom. I bet he's just using us for his benefit. Yeah, he was. Don't worry, Fidget. He'll get what's coming to him. Really? You think so? Yeah. Evil men always do. And on that note, I don't think there was any. Well, this was the choice. That was the big choice. So yes, we do need to. Yes, this was before the big choice. So we're gonna save that there. And thank you very much for showing up again to the one person that was here the entire time. Congratulations. Woo! You deserve a round of applause. Woo! So other people will watch it on the replay. This one was a long slog. We had one choice only. It was a big choice. No, don't get me wrong, it was a big choice. And I can see it really having a big impact, and I'm really curious as to what the other side would be. It does sound like all roads lead to Rome, though. So, I got two ending flags. True ending flags. How many? I had I had 0 coming into file 6. I wonder if there was any I missed before that. If I wanted to, I don't know. I don't know if I have access to debug mode. It is an RPG Maker game, so actually, even if it is a variable that increases, like I wouldn't be able to determine what the number needs to be for the quote-unquote true ending. But yeah, so what is it? Rocker, Elnumi, Archcon, Keela, Rook. So the 6 people, it seems like they're actual real-world people. I'm just looking at the menu for a bit. But yeah, I mean, it was a big thing. I think, as I was saying, I think all the roads lead to Rome, though, because it seems like the situation revolved around the fact that the assassins want to go after them, and Keela and what's his name, Righty, also want to go after Kayla. So, like, either decision you made, it would affect the characters that you would be with, but it wouldn't really affect the setting or the goal, as it were, because you weren't going to just meet up with the king either way. It made it sound like you were just going to meet up with the king if you went with the assassins, but because the mail didn't come, the assassins are being tricked into going after Kayla. So basically, the designer made it so that the two branches would kind of go to the same goal end, which is an interesting gaming trick that you do in game design. What they call the illusion of choice. They did that quite well, though, at least for that one decision. That one decision in the 2 hours that we did. It's like, so anyways, I'm going to keep continuing this series. Let me see really quick. I'm going to check something real quick because I know it's like only a month away at this point. So let's see. Because I'm gonna be taking a hiatus from this game when a certain game comes out, and it's like in August. So I got to find out when that is. I could probably do this on my free time, but I'm just trying to delay the inevitable closing out of the episode. You're gonna have to deal with it. If I can freaking navigate my crap right. Wish list. Where's my wish list? Wish list. Should be able to just find it, right? Excuse me. Oh God. Or is it already in my... It's already in my library, probably. Oh, yeah, it is. Game purchased. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be out. It said it was going to be out in August, so it doesn't have an official release date yet. I'm surprised when you do pre-orders that it doesn't really tell you. Like it's like, oh yeah, when is it going to come out? It's like, I'm not going to tell you. August 15th, and that is how long from now? Uh, 15th. I may not. Oh, and also, by the way, I may not be here next week as well. So that would be the 28th. I'll let you know. I may or may not be here next week. Actually, something did come up that I might be going to that Friday night, or I might reschedule it. But the 15th is going to be like 3 weeks from now. So I'll let you know more when that comes around. I should do it on my free time. But anyways, thank you very much for... you move the release date back? Oh no, you're talking... Tails and... Fangs... Or Tails and... God dang. Fangs and Tails? Or God, that other game. I'm talking Sonic Mania. That's coming out in August. That one I'm probably going to do in fursuit because I can game Sonic games pretty well. So that one I might actually... It depends on how hot it is. Tooth and Tails, that's it. Tooth and Tail? Yeah. So yeah, but I'm talking Sonic Mania. So that one will... That one will do it. So I'm going to get the hop out of here. It's been a good long while. And we'll see you next time on this next exciting episode. What political webs we weave. We weave. And I want to weave.